So Christmas basically starts in January for us. We start planning our seeds that we're going to buy for the year ahead. I always try to grow something new each year, most of which is sown and grown in the community garden at the far side of the palace. So we start planning and sowing and growing right at the beginning of the year, but it's a process which lasts throughout the year. So we nurture the seedlings, and we keep picking them as they bloom and flower, and we dry them as we go. And also we kind of find and forage things across the whole garden. So although we grow lots of the kind of flowers that we dry in the community garden, the whole garden gives us a whole host of things to choose from, whether it's seed heads or dried flowers that are on perennial plants. So people will probably get good ideas from their own gardens. If they look closely, they'll find lots of things that they can kind of pick for Christmas. So we grow things specifically from seed for drying, and we do have a few favourites that we grow every year. So we grow straw flowers. They've got a fancy Latin name called xerocrhyzums, and we also grow statice, which people will be quite familiar with, called limonium, and love and a mist, which is grown in lots of different gardens and self-seeds everywhere. So lots of people will have that in their garden. That's also known as nigella. But we grow lots and lots of different things, but they are definitely a few on my top 3 would be those. We also pick flowers from perennials in the garden. Lots of those have beautiful kind of flowers or seed heads. If you're a frequent visitor to the Bishop's Palace, you'll see lots of hydrangeas on the moat bank. So we pick the hydrangea flowers as they dry and store them in all sorts of funny places. Office corners, toilets, wherever we can find a space to dry them. I think my favourite that I've discovered recently is Limonium tataricum, which is called German statice. It's a perennial and it's got these really beautiful white star-shaped flowers. It's a real favourite of mine for Christmas. Partly because it's these like miniature stars, but also because it keeps its white colour. So it's kind of like a little snowflake in a flower. So that's a real favourite of mine. When it comes to decorating itself, it is a mixture of kind of planning all the different arrangements we're going to use in the different areas of the palace, and also obviously some last minute creativity. I know in advance which areas we need to decorate, and I know which volunteers are going to come in to help us. It's just such a huge team effort. So as well as the garden team staff, we have garden volunteers and other volunteers that come in to help across the main week. And it does take us a full week to decorate the palace, but obviously lots and lots of time in advance of that, planning and preparing. We don't use any floral foam in our arrangements. Some people call this Oasis, that's the brand name. So a more sustainable way is to use alternative mechanics. So for example, rather than use an Oasis block, we'll use a trough filled with water with maybe something like a brick in it to kind of weigh it down, to stop it falling over. So there's lots of different things you can use as an alternative, which make it much more sustainable, and then those things can be used each year. So the highlight for me this year is most definitely the really beautiful installation as you come into the palace. We call it our welcome table because there's a beautiful gold welcome sign behind it. So the volunteer who did that for us this year used a kind of branches from the garden, and then other volunteers along with her created these lovely hanging arrangements, a bit like baubles made out of dried flowers, poppy seed heads, honesty seeds. So it creates a really lovely kind of open, magical arrangement, which I really, really love. The other highlight, I think, is the mantelpiece in the coronation room upstairs. So go and have a look at that. The garden team created a really special arrangement up there, which I really love. I'd really recommend trying to use dried flowers as an alternative to kind of Christmas baubles this year. I think it's worked really well in the arrangement on the welcome table in the entrance hall of the palace. So if you select some dried flowers, they could be things that you find down the lane near your house, so teasels or poppy seed heads or anything that just looks beautiful. If you hang it on a tiny piece of thread or a little piece of ribbon, or you cluster them together as like a mini bunch of dried flowers or dried seed heads, that just makes a really, really pretty Christmas decoration, which you could either hang on a tree if you've got a tree, or you could hang on a branch that you bring inside, or you could even just kind of pin up and hang across a shelf or a mantelpiece or something like that. And what it does is it really brings attention to the beauty of the seed head or the flower, and you can just look really closely at it, and they're very, very beautiful. So that would definitely be something I'd suggest trying as an alternative to your standard bauble.